All right. I thought I'd do a update on where the old Holden Frontera is up to. So, anyway, she's on the road, registered, good to go. So, which is great. So I thought I'd do a video on what I had to do and what jobs had to be done on it to get the thing roadworthy. In Queensland, they call it a safety certificate. They are strict. I can tell you one thing, that's the first thing compared to the NT. The Queensland Safety Certificate / roadworthy inspection is strict. So I can see why second-hand cars are not worth much in Queensland compared to other states because, oh my goodness, they are strict. So anyway, not to worry. So I gave her a clean, as you do. So anyway, so I'll just quickly go through. Now, the certificate, it talks about what type of bull bars on it, what type of tow bars on it. And they've got to be SRS compatible, as in airbag compatible. They've got to have a sticker on them and all that. So luckily, this is an ARB ARB bull bar, and it's fully compliant, which is good. So obviously, whoever did this did the job properly in the first place, which is great. So that was the first thing. And then the tow bar, again, it had to have a compliance plate and all this other stuff, and they did check all this stuff on the safety certificate. It's incredible. So anyway, so that side of it was good. So when I dropped it off to a mechanic, he found a number of things that needed doing. So mostly to do with all the boots. So you had steering rack boots, the CV boots. I mean, pretty well every single shocky covers, boots, pretty well every boot on the front end and the back had to be replaced. They were all either torn, old, or damaged. So that had to be done. The other thing was leaks on the valve covers, as in the rocker covers, leaks on the valve rocker cover gaskets. So they had to be both replaced, which was not too bad. Needed a new battery. Naturally, whenever you have a car, it needs a new battery. And even silly things like I had to order a new one of them to make it roadworthy. Just incredible. So he gave it a service for me, did all oil, plugs, oil, radiator fluid, the whole lot, full service, went through. Of course, new air filter, cabin filter, all that. So that's about all he did in here, which was good. So so everything was inspected and making sure it was all compliant. So inside we didn't do that much. All we had to do was to get the aircon relay, which is the little span switch relay. So that was knackered, so that was quick change. And the other thing, the handbrake had to be adjusted, but not only adjusted, but the bolts that actually hold the handbrake on were all loose. So they ought to be fixed up, which wasn't too bad. ABS light was on, so that was an ABS sensor on the front left. That was changed. I had to remove the tint off here because the tint was slightly bubbly, so that tint had to go off here and off here. So the passenger side tint was buggered, but the driver's side is still good. Oh gosh, so what else did they need to do? I think that was about it for in here. So what we did was said, righto, that's good to go. So we sent her in for the first roadworthy, and it passed everything except for 4 things. So minor things, because the mechanic went right through it, but anyway, they picked it up. So front wheel bearing needed to be done, and they're a complete bearing kit. They're not like you pull a bearing out, replace it. The whole hub is replaced, but you can get them online real cheap, dirt cheap, about $130 or something. So incredibly cheap online. So that was one thing. The power steering rack, that had a small leak in it. So frustrating, but hard to find. Oh my God, hard to find a power steering rack for one of these. a hydraulic steering rack. Very, very, very difficult. So it took me a while hunting around to find one, and eventually found one at the Wreckers in Melbourne. And luckily, it was a good one that did not need to be resealed. So I got lucky there. So that he failed me on a drop or two coming from the power steering rack. Like I said, very, very strict considering the work that was already done on it. The other thing was rear sway bar bushes, not the toe pins, the bushes. They were worn but not worn out, so they had to be replaced. Obviously steering rack and the position of the new CV boots weren't to their standard, so we had to reposition the CV boots and put new tyres around them to make them look a bit neater, even though they were very neat. But anyway, like I said, they're very strict. So yeah, so I went through for the second inspection and passed with flying colours. So you know, there's no leeway. It's you might as well have a 2-year-old car. It gets inspected the same as a 23-year-old car, which, well, 22-year-old car, what this is. So quite incredible. But out of that, you get a bloody good car. So you got a good car that's got all new boots, all new everything, full on, fully inspected, brake system, everything is just smick on it, and it drives beautifully. So as much as you sit there and go, oh, there's so much work, this car's good for another 100,000 Ks without even any issues, any major things coming up, because it's just got a new clutch in it before I got it. It had new brake pads all around, so again, before I got it. And yeah, so yeah, it's a beauty. It's got all new tyres. So the tyres are like, you know, a few years old, but they're actually only got about 10,000 Ks on them. And it's a good spare, you know. You know, this is a bloody good spare. So it's got the spare is probably a good 70-80% tread. So it's no dramas at all. Yeah, she's a beauty. And like I said, she's got some gear on it, you know. So you know, it's got a air compressor attachment here that you can plug your tyres into, plug the lead into, and pump up your tyres straight from your car. You know, so yeah, like I said on the other video, it's got air lockers, diff lockers on it. It's got diff lockers on it, so they're good. And dual fuel tanks. I've worked out how these work now. So that's just for, well, I believe it is, that just shows you how much fuel's in each tank, but it only transfers from the auxiliary tank to the main. So this doesn't select which way it transfers. This is just to tell you how much fuel's in it. So of course you've got a proper gearbox, proper low range on these, and you've got your forward drive button there. It's brilliant. Very, very good car. All the electronics in it. Aircon's freezing cold. So overall, the thing's in great nick. You know, really good nick. Yeah, so yeah, it took me a little while to work this out, but you got to press that and then raise that and then open that. There's the air hose, of course. But yeah, how cool is that? Full setup. Very good. It's a great bit of kit. A lot of fun. So anyway, that's it. It's not a modifying car or anything like that. It's just a car. So really, yeah, that's what she is. Yeah, it's got the side steps and all that. I mean, this is good for a long life now. So well worth it, because this is essentially a $2,000 car that was purchased by me. And honestly, the guy was about to take it to the Wreckers to get spares for it, you know, because that's literally, no one buys them. No one wants it because Queensland's so incredibly strict. But out of it, once you do the work, very minor things in the scheme of things, it's a great car. Really good bit of kit. So the only thing I might do one day, I might just chuck a winch on it, because there's a hole there. I might as well just want to get those cheap Chinese winches, and I'll just chuck a winch in there just to fill the hole. I'm not going to probably use it. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, that's it. So anyway, thank you very much. So that's just an update on this car. So cheerio. thank you. Any questions, just let us know. I've got to know them pretty well now. So yeah, it's cool. Okay, thanks, E.